then I'm okay, because I can go back to bed. I got 2.5 hours before I have to wake up, right? I'll be able to get into a sleep cycle and then out of it and then wake up and I'll be okay. When it's 4 o'clock and I lie there not sleeping because I'm worried I'm going to go too deep and then I won't wake up at 5:30. So then what ends up happening is at about 5 to 5, I go deep, and it's like now it's 5:30 and I'm snoozing, and then it's just...
Yes. In fact, you've just answered it for me. I think that's what probably happened with me. Although I'd set various alarms, I had a lack of trust in myself. Now that you've just said that, I'm realising what it was, so thank you. What it meant, I thought I maybe would be too deep and I wouldn't hear the alarms, and I had to get up. It was just that thing. And
so your brain tells your brain's like, don't fall asleep, don't fall asleep.
Yeah.
So you stay there in that light where you think you're kind of asleep, but you're still kind of thinking about things.
Yeah.
And then you end up going, if I would just lie down and just go back to sleep, then it'd be better than trying not to fall deep asleep.
And so what we're trying to do is impose conscious control over an unconscious activity. And so it's always going to be a challenge, in the same way that people want to consciously stop smoking and the unconscious is doing it for good reason. The conscious mind cannot just, well, it will try, but it will keep sending messages, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, and the unconscious goes, well, this is what we do, this is what we do, this is what we do. Whether it's smoking or eating chocolate or whatever, it's doing it for a good reason, and we kind of then have a breakdown of communication between the conscious and the unconscious, because the unconscious says, well, this is what we've always done, this is what makes us feel good, and this is what... and the conscious mind isn't kind of in alignment with that, and then we feel like we don't know our own minds. And with the sleep, because the word hypnosis is from hypnos, for sleep, the Greek word for sleep, the one thing it can really help with is sleep. Now, it usually needs to be kind of instigated by a temporary agent who is going to communicate between the two parts of the mind to facilitate something that the consciousness wants. So if I'd had a hypnotist here, I would have said, can you just make sure that I go into a really deep, lovely sleep, and that probably just before the alarm, have you had that happen? Just before the alarm, I'll wake up with bright, delightful alertness. So quite often, when you're in a regular pattern, you get used to this through repetition, and so your unconscious finally gets the message, oh, you want me to get up at this time? Okay. But trouble is, your pattern has changed, so you've gotten into a different pattern, so you're trying to impose a conscious rearrangement, different circumstances, onto the existing pattern that is now well established. And so it's quite useful to know a hypnotist that can then get your conscious mind to tell your unconscious, from this point in time, I need you to do this.
Okay.
And once you notice these different personality types, and how your energy is affected, you need your energy for you, you know. So what shall we do in trance? Now that we've got your fingers working, now you know the drill, you know what to do. And I'm going to take the stance that I want to kind of shower you with genuine positivity and get some response from the creative part of you that will engage with that. Is that okay with you? So in these circumstances that we've just been talking about, there's going to be an element of positivity that you and I are not seeing at the moment. And for your well-being, we're going to see if there's a part of you that can find it. It begins with relaxing those hands and the arms, and I want you to feel the weight of those hands on your stomach now, through the pillow, recognise that you know your hands and your arms are there because you feel the weight on the rest of your body, and you feel the weight of you, the presence of you, sinking down into relaxation, down into the support that is there, down into the chair, as you can just now allow yourself to relax. All the stuff that you do want to deal with is buzzing around you, almost in the energy around you, and we know how important energy is. It's good to talk. There is magic in the talking, and the talking has now meant that those issues are around you, out of you, though around you now. I want you to count with me in your head down from 7 to 1, as we've done before, because each descending number takes you down deeper. By the time I reach the number 1, you're going to regard those hands as no longer belonging to you. You know your unconscious mind will raise the right forefinger for yes and the left forefinger for no. When you come back to full conscious awareness, of course you'll have full control of those hands, though you hand over control now to that part of your being which is always standing by, ready to help you now. Though there are 7 steps, as we now go all the way down to the number 1. When I reach the number 1, you'll be there. Taking those 7 steps now, with each descending number twice as relaxed as before. With each descending number, beginning to realise that consciously those hands no longer belong to you. So relaxed, so safe. You are allowing the unconscious to do the work for you. So 7 and 6, 5, 4, 3, and 4 and 5, and 5 and 4, 3, 2, 1. 1. And you are there. Time for me now to ask the unconscious mind, the creative part, please, to come forward at an unconscious level, and when the creative part has come forward, you will allow the yes finger to lift, falling on the creative part, that part of you that comes up with all those good ideas. Allow the creative part. Thank you. Good. Well done. Now, as we thank you for coming forward, we need your help today from that creative part, the playful part, that part that comes up with all those good ideas. And I know, and you know, that Tom is full of good ideas, better ways of doing things, better ways, improved conditions, to the point where if things aren't improving and if things are getting worse, it is a problem for Tom. And there are things that he can do things about, and there are things that he cannot. And I would like the creative part to indicate to me, do you understand what I mean? Yes or no? Does the creative part understand? Thank you. Good. And I know that creative power that you have is so strong that it overspills into issues of the environment and issues of others that maybe he cares about to some degree, of course. though, aren't people that he loves, aren't people that he lives with, aren't people that are as significant to him as those close to him. So that there are environmental factors that may even take his energy or create a kind of negative force within him that makes him frustrated at times. Does that creative part understand what I mean? Do you, the creative part, understand? Thank you. Good. Okay. I would like the creative part now to recognise the positive application of Tom's creativity. The positive application that can create change, improvement, happiness, joy within Tom's life. Does the unconscious mind, the creative part, understand what I mean? Thank you. Good. So there are positive applications of Tom's creativity. That he knows he can utilise the energy to utilise that which will improve his well-being and consequently improve the well-being of those he loves and cares for.